You see this, guys? This is the only intro I need. I'm back at the office. I'm stoked. Now, there's only two downsides. One, it's dark outside. I only got one studio light, and it's kind of dark in here and kind of gloomy, which is a bit of a foreshadowing this monthly recap. But let's continue. Second downside is I'm only going to be here another 10 days, and then I'm on the road again. Oh, that's not what I wanted to cry about in this video. What I wanted to cry about in this video is my monthly stats, which actually aren't that bad, but they're not great either. Let's go ahead and review what's been going on, and this is a quick bird's eye view of what has been going on. This is specifically only the day trading small caps portfolio, so you can keep that in mind. Only that, and this is something you guys could check out on your own. Check out free time if you just go over to tradejournal.co/Winkler. You guys can do all this analytic research on your own time. But let's scroll down here again, and let's actually go to the monthly. And this is when I began. This is when we finished the small cap 25K challenge, and then we switched to the unlimited margin account, which is over $25,000. And why is this camera so low today? Or right now specifically, very odd. Anywho, let's keep going, and let's go to the month. And let me just adjust this one more time. I feel like I'm getting more and more out of the picture, but I think that's fine. I've got to keep the bull in it too. So this is the monthly overview, and what you can see here is that the last 2 months, so pretty much starting 2022, has been so terribly slow for me, and it's honestly painful. It really starts off with January here, where we lost $157. That was not a great month for me. Well, it was actually, was that my biggest loss ever? Let's see. Yeah, that was my second biggest loss ever. So we've been keeping our red months luckily slow or small. But after December, we made $10,000, and then I just pretty much been crawling ever since. I don't think it's necessarily bad, like really bad trading on my end. It's really a lack of momentum in the market, and any small cap momentum trader out there knows it's been horrendous. Luckily, it's been picking up a little bit with these oil and gas stocks lately, but it's been so slow. This month, you can see I'm already at $1,400. Today was a small red day, so I think it's like I'm back to like $1,200. So that's is what it is. But yeah, overall, just the opportunities have been low. So we're talking about February in this recap video, and something that probably catches your eyes really quickly is overall there's a pretty healthy trend of increasing volume overall. But look at this. In February, I had a very small amount of volume. I've only did 131 trades. I haven't done that since back here in June. And in June, I also didn't start till like mid-June. I think we pivoted to the unlimited account. So even then, it would have been around the same amount of trades. But also what I did in June was basically I said, you know what? I just came from the PDT account. Basically, I was not able to trade so much. So what I did was I continued to trade the same way, same size, same amount of trades per day, and all that for like 2 weeks. So I wouldn't all of a sudden be in a race car and just crash it right away, right? So that's why I traded very slow. And once I got more comfortable in my new trading vehicle, so to speak, that's when I picked up volume. But opportunities have been slim pickings, like the slimmest in 2 years is really what it feels like. I think this month will definitely be better, but you never know. Overall, we are in a nice uptrend, so I'm pretty happy about that. Let's scroll down a little bit, and what I'll do is actually open this already on another tab, but now I focused it just to February, and this is the daily. I could go to weekly, monthly, which is just going to be 1 bar, and yearly also 1 bar. But let's go back to the daily here and talk about what was going on. So average number of trades, I mean, look at this, like 7, probably around 8 or so, maybe even like 7 or 6 average number of daily trades. Usually that's like 20, 25, 30, probably around like 25 on average. So it's just a very small amount. And then also had a huge red day here, which was just so unnecessary. This red day still hurts me to this day. And I will talk about a new rule that came out because of that, and I'll share the video with you guys regarding this new rule. But what I want to do is just kind of compare last February some of the overall statistics. So let's go to daytime, and this is the overall with all my trading in this portfolio. You can see I make most of my money from 7, 8, and then 9, and then pretty much just goes down after that, right? It's kind of a classic exponential curve. The situation was I was in Utah and I was exhausted after waking up at like roughly 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I was usually trying to sleep until at least 4:30, but then, the market opens at 5 a.m. based on, Eastern Standard Time, and I was on Mountain Time. So it was getting to me. I did it for 2 months, and then I was like, I don't know how people wake up at 4 a.m. It's not for me, and I stopped doing that. So when you come over here, we go to daytime, you can see at 7 a.m. I did no trades, and I actually made the majority of my money at 11 and 12. So I kind of shifted over my trading day, which actually ended up working pretty well. And this is really unorthodox because we actually had a lot more volume later, like after the market opened. Usually my best trading was actually like 7 and 8 because we had really good clean front side moves, and then at the market open it would just be chop. Now in February it was almost the opposite, where pre-market was a lake. There was nothing happening, and I had to wait for later trading. So let's look at some other trends, and I don't think this is a trend that's going to continue. It's already changed back to how it used to be. So that's just kind of an interesting little stat on my end. Overall, Tuesday's my most profitable day. Friday's my least profitable day. Let's see how it was here. Tuesday, yeah, and then Friday was just, yeah, well, least profitable, I guess. This was bad. We'll talk about more than that in a second. Month, we don't really need to talk about that, but it looks like overall December is my most profitable month. That's actually quite interesting. Duration, this is not something really worth talking about. I shouldn't also be holding multi-day trades. I think I had a few day trades that I held too long. This was a big mistake. Actually, one of them I made like 5K on that I didn't know I was long. It was the biggest mistake in my life that actually ended up working for once. But that's not worth talking about. And let's go to intraday duration. This is how long I hold individual trades. My most profitable is anything I hold less than a minute, which makes sense because I'm a frontside momentum, more or less breakout trader. I like to trade quick. So basically breakout or bailout is the motto. So it makes sense why that's my most profitable. Anything I hold after that, usually nothing really good comes out of it. Let's go to how it was in February. Same general trend. Obviously, a lot less stats, significantly, statistically less significant because we don't have as many trades. But yeah, anything less than a minute is usually my go-to. No surprise there. So overall, I think the trends are more or less consistent, besides obviously the daytime, which makes sense because I was sleeping in, like I said earlier. Now, let's actually go to the, I was going to say overall stats, but actually let's go to the calendar. I already had this open. Let me actually refresh this here because it looks like, yeah, okay, we'll just leave it like that. You guys can see it, hopefully. I have January and February here. January was so bad. And actually, we've been on a bit of a green streak here. So we traded on Monday. That was the 28th. I did not trade on Wednesday because I was flying on Tuesday evening, and on Wednesday I was in a train from Amsterdam to Berlin, and I was looking a little bit at the markets, but no way I was going to trade in that train. There was a really bad Wi-Fi, but I've been on a little bit of a green streak. Today was a red day, so there goes that green streak, but that's nice. Now, in February, a bit of a rocky overall experience. I mean, we had some green, we had some red, but I was really lacking consistency. And I think what chart kind of sums it up a little bit better is actually this running P&L chart, which looks a bit awkward when I slide it. Let me actually do this and then refresh it. Let me see. I think that sometimes makes this chart. Yeah, for some reason, sometimes it works. So this is 2022, March. Actually, wait, March is wrong. February. And let's talk about this for a little bit. So overall, I think some of the trading was actually quite consistent. I've been making a lot of mistakes where I overtrade and I start giving back a lot of profits. Overall, that wasn't really the problem. You could see I ended the day high on a lot of occasions. I mean, here, gave back, but overall, I mean, these are pretty nice candles, I would say. Here's the big loss intraday. What I really want to highlight though in February is this Friday here. This this was really bad. The day started off where there wasn't any good opportunities, and you could already see my first trade I was down 371 on. And I pretty much worked back some of my losses. Now, in February, on this Friday specifically, I had other plans. Basically, my last few trades, I should have been already packing. My dad and my brother, they were getting ready to go snowboarding, and they're like, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "Yes." I was trying to get ready, and I made such a silly mistake. Basically, I was, thinking about getting ready for the snow day, but I was trading, right? That is like the worst combination. I made a whole entire video, which I will link here. It's on my YouTube channel, but basically, in a nutshell, maybe I could even find the YouTube video. Where is that one? It's in February. Let's see if I can exhaust it. I think it was like how to make trading rules, getting over plateaus. Definitely watch this video because I talk about how I make trading rules, and I made a new trading rule after this Friday. And basically, you want a really objective structure to your trading rules. Otherwise, it's too subjective. You're going to be like, not this time, or this time's a little bit different. And the hard thing about this trading rule is, how do I make a very objective trading rule based on like kind of a subjective criteria? Like, and I'll tell you, like, here's a really good example. Like, my max stop on the day is when I'm down 10% based on my average position size. That's really easy. If my average position size is $10,000, Trade Journal tells me, boom, if I'm down $1,000, that's 10% of that. That's like as objective it gets. I stop trading, right? Now with this one, it's like, if there is an activity I really want to do the next day, I can't multitask, so I need to like stop. Then it's like, how much do I want to do that activity? And like, should I trade maybe a little bit before that? So it was like tough. There wasn't a really good objective criteria. But let me basically say the end result is, one, if like, for example, I don't know, the next day I'm going to be hungover or something, that's obviously like a no trade day, and I'm pretty good with that. Like, if I'm going to be hungover the next day, I don't trade. Like on the 23rd, we had our live stream where my brother and I were taking shots and stuff, and I knew I was going to be, not 100% the next day. So I took this day off. Now that was really easy. Now on this Friday, I knew we wanted to go snowboarding in the morning. But since I started trading so early, I was like, maybe I can get some trades in. Now at this point, I basically have two criteria. I say basically don't trade at all. So either just say, you know what, I'm going to take the day off. I'm going to enjoy the day, and so be it. I'm going to leave it at that. Or the second option is trade if it's good, and a little subjective here, and then do the activity later. So if it's really good, we get a 200% gapper, an amazing front side, I got to say, screw it. This is rare. Let me trade this and focus and say, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to do the activity. And if I can't do the activity, I will come later by myself. I'll get a car or something like that. Keep it really simple. And I really ideally don't trade at all is probably the best way to go, because then you could just really relax that day. But for me, I like to check the markets usually first thing. So check the markets. If you're not seeing an amazing setup, be like, you know what, great, no good setup. Boom, close the laptop, turn the desktop off, whatever you do, and then enjoy it. I could have done no trades today or, this Friday and just really enjoyed it. I have a similar rule about not trading the day before a 3-day holiday, because I have the same situation where I'm already thinking about something else. I want to do something else, or I already have something else planned, but I'm trading, and then, boom, instantly I trip over myself, and it's really frustrating. So that was the new rule I wanted to share with you guys, and that was this picture right here, and I'll link it in this video. Now, the last few things I want to talk about with you guys is, let's see here, my patterns, and then my thoughts on the month, and then going forward, a few things going forward. So sounds like a lot, but it should be pretty quick. So let's get right into it. Now, usually this looks a little different when you're zoomed out. It looks like this, but I'm actually going to, I don't know how good you guys can see that, especially everyone on the phone, but maybe I'll just keep it like this at first because it's a better overview. For February, I only made $1,400, kind of sad, really actually sad. But hey, it wasn't a red month, and sometimes you know, just like having a nice clean month where you don't like give back profits or something like that is, I would rather be green than red, obviously. So, you know, I can't always complain. I think my lowest month before then was obviously my first month because I only did a small amount of trades, and I started halfway through. But then here it looks like this was April. I did $1,200, so that was really it. And then yeah, okay, and that was it. So this is like my third lowest profitable month. But yeah, let's go back here to the stats, get on topic a little bit more again. Profit margin, you know, this should be ideally over like 40%. That's usually when it's a lot better. And you know what I could actually do that might help here is when we have some comparables. Let's go to, so this is my portfolio overview, but if we go to stats, and again, you guys can do this on your own time as well. Yeah, so my average on the stats is 30%. This is just the portfolio overview. And then if we go down here, look at this, average daily profit, $84. It's so bad. I might as well get a normal job at this point. But it's also normal. Like every trader has those lull months, and this is totally one of them. Because it's just been really slow in the markets. And then you make all your money in like 3 or 4 months. And then everything else is just like, you know, maintaining is really what it feels like. So that's why you want to be vigilant a little bit all the time, just at least checking so you know what's going on. And you're just kind of waiting. You're always being patient. You're just kind of hibernating for that volume. And let's see what else is going on here. Total winners, 76%. That's actually pretty good. That's a good ratio there. My average is 66.76. Interesting. Largest winning trade, that's not too bad. Largest losing trade, that's not great. Now, I think the crazy thing is like my average position cost was only 6,000 last month, so that's pretty small. My average is 7,000, and that's including like when I was trading smaller size in the beginning. So I really sized down in February substantially. And I've actually sized down even more in March. Today was like the first day I traded with bigger size. Yeah, average win, this is tiny, very small win there, bigger losses. Average trade durations, okay. My average win trade duration should not be, I feel like, this long, but yeah. So basically, if I'm ever in a trade for more than like 3 or 4 minutes, I really just need to close it right away. Well, I guess it depends on the price action, but more or less. Now, what I want to show you guys as well is some of my overall patterns that I trade. So we could just go ahead and quickly do that. Is this zoomed in at all? Here, let's zoom it in a bit more. So what I am doing is frontside, backside, or frontside, ranging, and backside. I made most of my money on frontside, the second most on ranging, and then backside, like always, I've given back profits on. So really, really classic there. I honestly don't know how I constantly give back on backside so much, but I gotta pretty much just delete this strategy. It's so tempting to want to trade backside when there's not a lot going on. But let's really quickly talk about each one, zoom in a little bit more. So with the, and let's also talk about a few trades on each one. Let's zoom back out here again. And so, yeah, like I said, I made most of my money here on the front side. Total winners, the most, 79%. So that's really good. With the ranging, actually, it's even better, 80%. And then backside, I must have a really bad ratio, around 65%. So yeah, that's backside is really where I just need to stop trading. It just does not work out very well for me. Let's see if we can get some good examples here. Largest winning trades for front side. Let's see, INDO popping up. Now this one was at 11.15. I actually held this one for quite some time. 11.15 is right in this area. So this is a classic front side. Right in this area is, looks like I was charging up here and then I sold into the pop. That's beautiful. Right on the 1 minute, or the 9 EMA on the 1 minute on the front side. And this was at 11.15, I said. So that was like right around, oh no, 10.15. Wait, actually, let me go back here a second. Yeah, 11.15. So that was right in this area. It's a little hard to say. So 11 starts here. So 11.15 is somewhere in this area. So it was definitely a little extended on the 5 minute. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Sorry about that, guys. So it was a little bit extended on the 5 minute for sure. But the 1 minute was really nice, and we had got last bit of resistance here. So I like to, attempt to trade that, maybe even trade for the potential fake out like we had here. But after that, I pretty much call it. So that was the largest winning trade. Nothing really too crazy. And the size was pretty small as well. Like once I start sizing up again, these small like 2.75% profits are going to be much nicer. But for now, they're still pretty small. Now the next trade here, largest winning trade based on percent. The other one was profit. This one is based on percent. Was at 942. 942. So that's right around this area. Looks like on the 5 minute we had a pretty nice breakout, and we were pulling back here. And then on the 1 minute, also really, really good setup. I'm not sure which one this was. It could have been this one where I was trading here and then I took profits really quickly. It looks like I wasn't waiting for continuation, maybe because it was so extended, but most likely because the market was pretty poop, and I wasn't looking for those big moves at all. I was pretty much happy just to take my profits and run. In terms of largest losing trades, dollar and percent, they're different as well. Let's go ahead and talk about these two. First one was at 9 o'clock, 9:07. So that was a pre-market trade. Looks like there's only one trade here. And that was 9:07. That was somewhere in this area. Quick pop to the upside, and then it flushed. This is nasty. What I don't like about this ticker is on the 5 minute, it's super extended. Volume, not as much as I would ideally want. And yeah, this is a little bit of bad luck because it just sold off so aggressively. But I usually also wait for at least one first pullback, and I guess I wasn't patient enough here, and I think I bought a little bit high as well. But yeah, it's hard to say. It looks like almost just a purely unlucky trade. Now let's keep going to the largest percent loser on Frontside. Sorry about that. So this one, actually, let's see what time it was first. 9:32. Okay, let's go to 9:32. Boom, boom, boom. So 9:30 is right here. 9:31, 9:32. Uh-oh, I'm buying pretty high here. So I'm buying for that breakout. Oh, I remember this one. I was so close to taking profits, and then it flushed on me. Oh, yeah, this was devastating. That 5 minute setup's not that nice either, because on this breakout, it was totally extended. So this move was... This was a real high flyer, because we don't even have the 90 EMA anywhere close. So this setup was just eager beaver, and I almost deserved that loss. But yeah, we've been having so many of these lack of continuation moves, and that was making February really difficult. We'll get this quick pop to the upside, and then it just continues selling off. And for someone that trades pretty much purely front side, those are difficult. That's like as hard as it gets, because it's just so frustrating, because like you're not making any money like that. Now with ranging, sometimes it can be very profitable in these kind of situations, because you're just basically realizing there's a support zone and a resistance zone, and your goal is to just capture the spread on that. So let's see what we can find with the ranging. Looks like my largest winning trade is the same, and you can see on the bottom left corner, see how those URLs go to the same trade. It's the same for largest price and percent. So let's just go to it and see what's going on. This is at 9:37 was my entry. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this one. What do we got here? 9:37. That's let's see, 9:30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I bought here and I sold into the quick pop. Yeah, that's okay trade. It's a total range trade. You can see the support is here, the resistance is here, and basically VWAP is mean reversion. So I was basically selling below the mean of that range and selling above it. So that's a pretty simple, clean trade. 5 minutes, just very choppy. Yeah, pretty clean, straightforward trade. Let's go to the biggest loser. It looks like the dollar and the percents are different. So let's actually check out how these conspired. What do we got here? We have an entry at 9:56. Let's see what's going on. Ooh, this looks kind of more like backside. You know what? I think all this is backside, but I counted this one as a range. I think that might have been the situation, because I was still in belief maybe that this was some sort of range, when in reality it was far from the range. and or wait, hold on 1 second. Did I click on? Yeah, you know what? Sorry, that was my mistake. I actually just clicked on backside. So let's let's rewind here for a second. This is the range. So we talked about this front side one. Now let's talk about these two. Sorry about that, guys. Jumped ahead one to the backside. So on here we have PTON, and now we're talking about the range. And let's see, I knew there was something off in that last one. This was at 9:40 a.m. we entered this one. And let's see, 9:40, that's like, this is 9:45, so that was in this one. So yeah, this is ranging as well. We have support in this area. I'm buying a little bit too soon below VWAP, I think, and I sell here for basically a smaller scratch. So that was actually not that bad, but I think my problem with this one is I didn't take profits quick enough in this area either. So I didn't cut glosses. I actually held this one a little bit too long and then actually sold near the low. So that wasn't really good. On the 5 minute, you can really see the support coming in here. So this was really the range I was trading, around like 35.75 or so. If I just held this one, it would have worked, but you're always risking that flush with the range as well. So it's a little bit scary. With OLB, let's check out what I did here on this one. And this is at 9:14 a.m. All right, let's go to this 9:14. So this is another pre-market trade. The reason I call this one range trading, it will probably make a lot more sense on the 5 minute, is because we were still at this point in time, we were still stuck below this area. We weren't on a real new front side here, which oftentimes I call the range. So what happened was, what time did I say here on this one? 9:14. So that was right here. So this one flushed, and I really accumulated here closer to VWAP, and then it was bouncing, and I quickly sold. Now the reason this ticker was more or less a loss is because my first entry was way too high in this area. So my mistake on this ticker was I basically treated this one a little bit more like a front side, when in reality it was still in the range and it hasn't really proven to be on its front side yet. So that was my mistake here, and kind of an amateur hour mistake, honestly. This happens when you don't understand if you're on a front side or a range, and it looks like I was a little bit undecided on this ticker. I think that's really what was going on, and obviously in hindsight everything's 2020 and it's so easy to talk about, but in the moment, if it's not super clear, the best thing you can do is just reduce size. I always say still trade it, because you'll have more FOMO if it works and you don't trade it, or like if it actually ends up happening, you don't trade it, and then you'll do something silly later on. So I would always say trade it, get experience, but reduce your risk by reducing your size. Obviously, you won't have as much upside reward, but you don't have as much downside risk, which is good because you're not super decided on that setup anyway, so it's totally fine. Now let's really quickly talk about the backside. I don't think this will take too much longer. And these are the overall stats. Okay, so let's go through these. We got 2 different trades here and 2 different trades here. So let's just open all of them. So we have everything set up nicely in front of us. So what I was actually doing last month a lot was trading backside on large caps, which was predominantly working, and I made most of my losses on backside small caps. But the large caps were they were trending a little bit nicer on the backside. This trade was at 1107. Let's go ahead and look at it. 1107. Yeah, so you can see this. I started sizing in here, bought a little bit more here, and then it popped up, and I closed this one. Nice little win. Just like a smooth trade. I really like the fact that there was overall bigger support, but coming up. But yeah, just simple backside trading. This was just a little bit premature entry, but I'll give myself a lot more time with the large caps. Next trade, $200 we made on this one. Backside, you never really make that much money because you're always trading those little pops back to the upside. So let's see what else is going on. 11:15 here on this ticker. Boom, moving right along. Yeah, backside move on the 5 minute. You can see Clove really had this big sell off, and now it's kind of slowing down. This was a really nice trade, actually. I think I missed taking profits here in this pop, and then I had a hold through this whole thing, which was, I remember at the time, this was really annoying because I was like, oh, my close for a loss when I could have just took my profits quickly, pulled up here, and I took those profits very fast, and that was it was nice to finally just take those quick profits. And then yeah, here we go to the picture we were talking about before, car classic. This was just backside, backside small caps is just dangerous because it just keeps selling off, and no matter how fast you're cutting your losses, you just take 1,000 paper cuts oftentimes, and then when it finally does pop, you're just not on board. And honestly, just looking at this is so frustrating. I don't even want to look at it. It's just disgusting. Yeah, horrible. NVCT down 252 on this one. Let's see what we got here. Let's actually, I didn't even look at the price or the timestamp. This was at 9:33. So this was that initial trade here. And this was on a backside. Actually, I would probably call this one a bit more of a range. But I think the reason I call this on the backside is because if you look at the 5-minute, it's just, this big waterfall move, and it's just kind of gnarly. And it's overall on a backside technically because it's below the 9 EMA. But there's big support right here. So this is actually looking pretty good. In terms of a range. Now, the reason this trade is so bad, and this is almost like hideous looking at this, is because it looks like I was trying to anticipate a reversal on a backside, and I was buying high on a backside. This is such a bad trade. I was chasing a backside move, 726. You never want to chase a backside move. Your upside on a backside move is like already 1 or 2%. So if it already does 1%, and you're chasing and getting that entry, you're asking for problems. And then, boom, that's what happened. It flushed on me, and I took a loss there. It makes total sense. This was such a bad trade here on NVCT. Oh, my God. Hideous. I'm happy I could show it with you guys. I mean, at least we can all learn from it. But that's a bad trade. I hope you guys all understand why. Let's see. If you don't, leave a question below. Say, I don't understand it. Please explain it again. I'll explain in the Discord one-on-one. Let's see here. What else to talk about? So going forward, here's some thoughts going forward, and I'll leave my stats up, front and center while I talk about this. I've already started doing this in March quite a lot. Is basically being much more selective. And you probably saw that with yesterday's recap video. I didn't do so many trades, but I was really selective. I was like, only front side, only when the price is over the 9 EMA on the 1-minute and 5-minute. I was super selective, and I had one of my biggest percent winner days, maybe even ever. I'm not really sure, but it was over 20% profit I made yesterday based on my average position size. So it was a huge profit day. I just used smaller size, but percentage-wise, it was amazing. So being very selective is important. Like I said, front side trading when the price is above the 9 EMA on the 1 and 5-minute, that's huge. When I trade the range, I do like range trading. It can be profitable. You just need to identify when you're in the range as quick as possible, and do a simple mean reversion, and that's it. And never trade anything extended when it's a ranging ticker. Basically, when it's stuck between two price zones. And then backside, honestly, I should just not trade it. And if I do trade it, maybe on large caps only. But backside is horrible. I'm not a good backside trader lately. There was a time where it was my best. Lately, it's been really bad, and I think I'll probably be a more profitable trader if I only focus on front side and just leave it at that. Also, what I need to start doing again is I need to start sizing up on tickers that I'm in the flow with. Sometimes you're just like nailing one move after another. That is not the time to be using small size. That is the time to be using your biggest size maybe ever, especially if you're trying to size up, and especially if the volume is good. If the volume on that ticker is good, size up, my friend. That's what you got to be doing. Let's see what else we got here. Wrap up once nailing one major move. Anything above daily average is a big win. So my daily average, well, this is really bad, but my typical daily average all in all is $250 per trading day, which isn't great, but it's not bad. It's enough to make a decent chunk of change. There's like 250 trading days in the year. Times that by 250. Again, you're making like close to, well, you're making $62,500. So that's not like a bad salary for like like 2 hours of work, 2 to 3 hours of work per day. Sometimes I only trade for like 40 minutes or so, 30 to 45 minutes. And that's really my last point here is, once you nail that one move, like today I was up $300 pre-market and there wasn't a lot of action. What I should have done was been like, hey, I'm up $300 today. There's almost no action and large caps are moving, which means small caps are usually extra bad. I should just stop, you know, like once you nail that one move, especially if you're above your average daily profit, that's probably a good time to call it. Unless you're like in that perfect setup, everything's working so well, you're trading, there's that one perfect ticker and you're milking the heck out of it. Okay, yeah, then maybe keep doing that until that move is over. But if you're just sitting in a lake, nothing's moving, and you're green and you're above your average P&L, call it. It's that simple. But yeah, I think that's all I really have to share with you guys. Again, if you have any questions, just drop them below. I'd be happy to answer any of them. And I'm always working with you guys in the Discord as well, just discussing one-on-one different topics, or on the DMs or something like that. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to drop a like on the way out. It's the easiest way to support the channel. If you're totally new, we'd love to have you part of this community. And I would love to have you part of this journey as well. Our next level here, you can see on the bottom left, is $500,000. I think right now we're at like $110,000. It's been a very slow year for me so far, but I hope it picks up, and I hope we get to that, you know, $250,000, and then we are at halfway point. So definitely subscribe so we can have you part of this journey. It's been a crazy one, and I think we've all learned so much together, you know, in both ways. I hear great feedback from what you guys are learning, but I'm also learning a ton from you guys as well, which is, you know, I'm super appreciative of that. Anyway, guys, I'll see you then first thing tomorrow morning for another day trading recap. Like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.